Many years ago in the capital city of Ika lived a young lady named Ago whose hearts burned for the things of God. She came to the city a couple of years ago in search of greener pastures and had to stay with her elder brother. Ever since then, Agosia was raised up in the way of the Lord and spent most of her childhood working in the church. As such, when she moved to the city, she immediately located a Bible-believing church and joined in it. Did not take long before she became popular because of her dedication and favor for God. She became a strong member of the choir, and you could always see her leading praise or worship every Sunday. Her elder brother soon helped her to secure a receptionist job in a FM, and for the moment it seemed everything was going on well in A's life, until she started to attract suitors. Azia was a beauty to behold in and out, and this beauty drew lots of men to her. Her inner beauty also had an advantage because she would naturally attract favor from people, from getting free rides to work to getting free lunch to getting cash gifts from both acquaintances and strangers. It was obvious that Ago was favored. It was on one of such favored days that she met Isu, a young handsome man who came to the FM, where she worked, to see the manager. Yaya attended to him politely, and just before he left he gave her a little gift for being kind and professional. However, the next day he came by again, but this time around not to see anyone, but a Mr. A good today, how are you? Today, Isu asked with a smile. Azia was surprised to see him, but returned the smile. Good day, sir. I am very fine. Would you like to see the manager? Isu shook his head. No. I came to see you today. It's just a casual visit. I couldn't get over my encounter with you yesterday, and I decided to come satisfy my curiosity. If you don't mind. Yaya smiled approvingly. And then Iso went on to ask her some things about herself. By the end of their discussion, they already had a silent connection. Isu was a junior pastor in a church, and so their spirits seemed to align. In addition to their values, too, Isu extended a hand of friendship to Ago, and she accepted, convinced that it was an innocent gesture. From that day on, Isu would call her for long hours and also show up at her workplace with a surprise lunch. The friendship was a sweet one, with each of them respecting their boundaries and values. While this was going on, Agosia still continued with her service at church, and it was there that she met another young man named Ugona. Every Sunday, after service, the moment Aga stepped foot out of the church building, Ugg would come up to her to compliment her for one thing or the other. Agosia felt it was just a harmless gesture, and so she didn't read much into it until when he started to appear with gifts too. At this time, Ago began to suspect that he wanted more, but much to her surprise, Uga never said a word to her, until months later when Ugona asked to take her out for lunch that Sunday afternoon. Aja agreed and went out with him. As they were eating, Ugona paused and looked at her for a brief moment before clearing his throat. Ago, I know you might be wondering why I brought you out here. Well, I believe it is time I opened my heart to you. I have known you for a while now, and I don't need anyone to tell me that you're an angel, but what I didn't know was that you would be the angel meant for me. Ago's eyes narrowed in confusion. What do you mean? Ugona then continued. I have been praying seriously to God for some months now for him to lead me to my life partner, the right woman for me, the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. And each time I get a revelation, I see you standing in white smiling at me and be coming to me to come to you. At first I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to mix things up. But then for the past few weeks, whenever I sleep, I am always seeing you singing melodiously. And then when I come to join you in singing, the heavens open beautifully, a sign that this union will be perfect. Ago, I don't want to delay further. You are the one God has chosen for me. I want you to be my wife. Aya's eyes widened in shock as she swallowed hard. Brother, thank you for telling me this, but I'll have to pray about it and then give you a reply. As Agosia got back home that evening, she slumped into her bed. She was in deep confusion. Just yesterday, Isu had asked her to marry him, and she told him that she would pray about it. And now out of the blues, Uga is asking for the same thing. This is going to be really hard. Isu is a good man. He's a young pastor with good values and a bright future too. Ugona is also a good man, even though he doesn't have good physical looks. But then the heart is what really matters, right? He has been a serious Christian and dedicated worker in the church since she could remember. And from their little encounters, Ugona seemed to be a gentleman. Oh God, I am confused. What should I do? I don't want to make a life mistake. Please, direct me, lead me well. Let me choose the right person, please. God revealed to me, open my eyes that I may see your will for me. Yaya prayed and prayed that day. But then even after praying, she knew she still needed guidance in making the right choice. So she decided to tell her pastor and also her elder brother they were the bigger authorities in her life. And so she trusted their counsel. She took the full names and pictures of Isu and Ugona to their church pastor and explained her confusion to him. The pastor assured her that he would pray over the names and get back to her on what God reveals. Aja was a bit relieved by the response, and while she was waiting, she informed her elder brother about her two suitors. Eugene, her elder brother, was pleased with the news. Aha, you are now a big girl to the extent of having two serious shores. Anyway, it is a good thing. But then it is a very delicate situation. Marriage is a lifetime venture, and one that is capable of destroying or building someone. How happy the person who gets it right with marriage. But sadly, only few get it right. I understand that the two men are serious church boys, but you must know that there are wolves among sheep. Jesus Christ said it himself. And the difficult thing is that it is even hard to detect the wolf when they are mixed among the sheep. That is why I am not usually moved when someone tells me I met my fiancé in the church, or crusade. The devil deploys his agents everywhere, especially to the church. So this is what will happen while we pray. We also need to use our God-given sense. I want to see the two men first. From there, we will know what to do. Agun nodded and thanked her brother for his support. She informed Isu and Ugona about her brother's intention to see them, and the two men chose different dates to visit. However, before they visited, the church pastor called for Agir to give her a response. Sister Agir, you are blessed. I have sought the face of God. The two men are favored before God. However, you must know that even before for God, there are levels and hierarchy. Hisu is a pasto. Are good, but we can't vouch for him. He doesn't belong to our church, so we can only say things about him on the surface. And remember what the Bible says about charm being deceptive. On the physical, he should seem like the first choice. But it is not so. Brother Yugon, now we know, and we can vouch, for we have watched him for years, and he has been a true soldier of Christ. So Sister Ag, in this situation, Brother Ugona sits higher in the hierarchy. This is what God says. Ago's heart was pounding nervously at this point in her chest. SOA is God's choice for her. Thank you so much, Pastor. I really appreciate your guidance. However, Agozie kept this in her heart and did not tell anyone. The day came when Isu was to visit her elder brother Eugene, and much to Agozie's shock, the two men flowed naturally, as if they had known themselves for ages. Eugene threw some questions at Isu, who answered them smoothly, and he didn't take long before they were laughing and talking like bodies. By the time Isu left, Eugene told Ago that Isu had a good soul. You know, I have a very good descending spirit. This one is a special gift the Holy Spirit gave to me. I can assure you that Isu will make a good husband for you. But then I will not conclude yet, until I see the second man. Aja nodded slowly as the pastor's words came ringing in her head. Charm is deceptive. Could this be true? Is it really possible that her brother had been carried away by Isu's looks and personality? No doubt Isu is a very fine man. But then that is not what matters anyway. She would wait until Ugona comes before she says anything. A few days later, Ugona came visiting, and when Eugene saw him, he treated him warmly, the same way he treated Isu. But then the reaction was not the same. Ugona was a naturally gentle man who did not speak much. As such, it would take a longer time to be able to read through him, because it would be unfair to judge him with his looks that were on the opposite side of fine or his scam demeanor. But this was not the situation with Eugene. Eugene's descending spirit set him apart and made him a very sharp and sensitive Christian. As such, he could already read through Ugona. So when Ugona left, he called Agir. Agir, is this the man you said attend your church? My spirit senses something strange in him. He's not who he seems to be, and I'm afraid if you end up with him, you might regret it. Ago was shocked. Brother, why would you say something like that? Is it because he's not as outspoken or good look as you had expected? Eugene waved his hands. Come of that. Ag, you know, I am not superficial, even if I want to be. My spirit won't let me. That man's spirit is not in any way related to the true spirit. I could feel a strange cloud around him. But then how would you know for sure when he's among the brethren? I don't want you to gamble into this, so I will advise you to delete him out of your options. If you don't have any other sewer, then that other pastor guy is a good choice for you. Yaya looked at her brother unbelievably. Her brother was one of the leading members at a Bible-believing church, but definitely, he was not a pastor, so how would he know better than her own pastor who has been a shepherd for long? Brother, I have prayed about this, and I also sought my pastor's counsel from what was revealed to us. Ugona is the one God has kept for me. He's my husband. Eugene stood up immediately in anger. Anyway, it will take some time for you to understand it, but don't be carried away. Ugona is not what he seems to be, he warned. Yaya watched him walk out, but she didn't bother thinking about anything. God has spoken to her. Ugona is the one for me. Charm is deceptive. I will never allow myself to be carried away by Issa's charm. Never. As such, Agozie went behind her brother and gave Ugona her response to marry him. She also told Isu that she wouldn't marry him because she already had a fiancé. Isu was shattered. He cried and begged for Aja to have a ring. He promised to never disappoint her and to be a good husband to her, but Aya's mind was made up. She would marry Ugona and nobody would stop her. When Eugene heard that Aja was still hell-bent on marrying Ugona, he flew into a rage. He would never allow his only sister to make a life mistake. He won't let her fall into the trap. Ag, it is better you don't get married at all. If Ugona is the only person you know, I have told you to leave that man alone. He's not your husband, and mind you, if you insist on marrying him, then you cease to be my sister. I will no longer have anything to do with you. Don't say I didn't warn you. Age was terrified. She had never seen her brother behave this way before, but why was he hellbent on making her go against God's? Well, God couldn't have lied to her. And the pastor, she was really worried and scared. But she comforted herself that it was better to disobey man than to disobey God. She would marry Ugona and prove her brother wrong. He would then realize that his spirit could mislead him too sometimes. Aja told Ugona about her brother's refusal to support their union, and he too was also worried. But she assured him that she wouldn't back off since this is the will of God for us. I will fight for this. I know there would be challenges, but I didn't know it would be from my own brother. I just need you to stand with me, and we'll be all right. We should also tell the pastor so he can guide us well. Ugona nodded his head, and they then went together to see the pastor after listening to their challenge. The pastor reassured them and prayed for them, pledging to support them at any time. With this confidence, Agozie became more bold and determined. She told Ugona to hurry up with the marriage plans, and when he was ready, she took him to her village to meet her uncles for the traditional rites. Since Eugene, her elder brother, had sworn that he would not support her, she would bypass him. Then, after the bride price payment, Agozie returned to the city with Ugona, but she couldn't go back to her brother's house again. She decided to stay with one of their church sisters pending when their union would be blessed in the church. Ugona didn't waste time and made the necessary preparation for the holy matrimony on that day. The whole church was filled to its brim, as everyone wanted to grace the wedding of the beautiful sister Agia. They received a lot of gifts, and just before the ceremony ended, Agozie sighted Isu coming up to her. She was shocked to see him, but before she could say anything, Isu smiled and handed her a wrapped gift. Ago, I can see that you are truly happy. Congratulations to you, and I wish you a blissful marriage. Please accept this gift from me for friendship's sake. Yaya smiled and accepted it. Thank you, Isu. I really appreciate this. She handed it to her maid of honor and told her to keep it apart throughout the wedding ceremony. Agozie kept on looking around, searching for any sign of her elder brother Eugene, but she didn't see him. He had kept true to his promise of cutting ties with her if she insisted on marrying Ugona anyway. Since he had moved on, she too would try to move on no matter how hard it was. Just before they left the venue, Yaya opened the gift Isu had given to her, and she was surprised to see a Bible and some money in there. Her heart jumped up as she held the gifts. Isu was truly a good man, but definitely not the will of God for her. She just prayed that God would give him his own wife. After the wedding, Agas moved in with Ugona, who lived not so far from the church, and the first month of the marriage was like heaven on earth. Ugona was a man of few words, but his AC covered up for him in that aspect. He worked as a painter, and whenever he got a contract, he would divide the money into two and give one half to Agozie. He never returned home without buying something for her, whether big or small, and he provided all her needs before she even asked. Agozie was pampered as a wife, and she was glad that she didn't reject Ugona. Once in a while. She would wish that her brother would have a rethink and come see how good of a husband Ugona was. Yaya continued to enjoy her marriage until one day when Ugona returned home with unexpected news. Ago, we are moving out of this house. My business has been slow of late, and I can't keep up with the rent again. We'll move to a more affordable place, please. Aos was shocked by the news. Honey, what exactly is the problem? Is there anywhere I can help? But Yugon now waved her off. The only solution is to move out. Once we move out, everything will be fine. So just start gathering all things together. We'll be moving anytime from now. Agoya is sadly okay. But can I know where we are moving to? I'm just asking because of my job, so I can know if it is close to my workplace. Ugona stood up to leave, but before he left he muttered, we are moving to OT. I have already rented a place for us there. Before Ago could process the whole information, UGA had already worked out. Wait, I had a now, or is my ear paining me? No, how can he already rented a place without letting me know first? What will happen to my work, the church, the community we already have here? Really? Is this happening? God, what does this mean? Is this a good thing? Okay. I trust you. I believe you are leading Ugona in whatever he's doing. It did not take up to 2 weeks before Ugona brought a truck and moved all their things to the new place. The previous Sunday they had already informed the church about their move, and they prayed for them and wished them well. They arrived at the healthy. Besides, there is no sugar or milk to add to it. How do I drink? Kids, she was still complaining when Ugona left her and went to lay down on the bed. Unbothered, Aos just sat there looking at him in disbelief. How will a man even be thinking of sleeping when his house is on fire? If his painting job is not doing well at the moment, why can't he look for something else to do? God, what is the meaning of this? Will I die of hunger like this? No. I need to look for something to do, no matter how little. Ago thought to herself. She quietly went to take some Gary and added salt into it. After drinking it, she left the house and went to Mama's shop. The moment Mama saw her, she knew that something was wrong with her. Oh, what is the matter? Did you quarrel with anybody? Agozie tried to hold back and keep her mind marriage a secret, but then she couldn't. She didn't even know when she broke down. I am just tired. I don't want to start complaining because it is too early, but this was not what I bargained for at all. Can you imagine that my husband cannot provide food for his pregnant wife? He only goes out to work once in a week and then spends the remaining days sleeping on bed. I had a good job before he asked us to leave that city and move to this place. Now I have no job, no business, and no money. He's just treating me as if he doesn't care. Can you believe that it is only Gary that I have taken today? Not Gary. And super drinking Gary. It is not fair. Yaya lamented. Mamachi listened patiently, and then she went to get some food for a take. I made it this morning before coming to the shop. I still have enough for me and my children. But Ago, you are still new to marriage, so you need to follow everything through with wisdom and patience. This thing wouldn't have been a big issue if you had a job with your own money. You can look after yourself and not be at the mercy of any man. He might be doing this on purpose because he knows you have nothing, or better still, maybe he's not even doing it on purpose. But whichever is the case, you need to start up something, no matter how little it is. Just that you're currently pregnant, and most companies or even schools would not employ you in this condition. You can't even start a business because you don't have capital. So for now, just concentrate on having this child. Then after that, you definitely get something to do. Have you started getting your baby essentials? Mayu going out today? Ugona ignored her questions and instead gave her some money. Take this, use it to feed today. Don't worry about me. Ai collected the money, but her hands froze in the air when she counted it and realized that it was just 250 naira. But honey, thank you, but I would like to start. Anada, you know the pregnancy is already past 3 months, and it is my first time. I need medical care. UGA looked impatient at this time, and he just muttered, I don't have money for that now. He then went out, leaving Aga still staring in shock. She got a grip on herself and prepared to go out. She went to Mommy's shop as usual and narrated all that happened the previous night and that morning to Mamachi, who was shocked and found it unbelievable. Yuha, this is strange. Oh, but come to think of it, did you and this man at all, did you not see the signs before you married him? Because I'm sorry to say, But these are traces of wickedness. Agozie sighed sadly. He was not like this. I met him in the church, but we didn't really cut for long, but I knew him to be a good Christian plus. I got the confirmation from God that he's my real husband. Mama scoffed. Church Christian him. Is that what they used? To deceive you people so you think because you met a man in the church that automatically makes him a good person. Don't you know that character is different? A person can be good and kind and not even be a Christian, while a so-called strong Christian can be as wicked as the devil. It's all boils down to personality and upbringing, and most times if the person is naturally wicked, like if the wickedness reaches the person's blood, that one is one chance, so it will only take God himself to flush out that person's blood. I just hope you haven't fallen into a deadly trap. Let's just pray that maybe he's facing some financial challenge and would soon come around. Agozie nodded slowly. And hopefully, yes, I am praying he wasn't like this. And do you know the worst part? He doesn't talk. Oh, we might be in this house for the whole day. And we won't even talk for up to 30 minutes. He's so gentle. He doesn't seem like someone who could do such a thing. I just hope that this phase passes. So on facing this in my pregnant state is so heartbreaking. I just feel alone. Mama looked at her pitifully. It is well, my dear. What about your family? Have you told them about what you are live facing? Maybe they could help. Aia looked away sadly. I only have my elder brother, and he has disowned me. He never wanted me to marry Ugona, so I can't even go to him. Now Mama was confused at this point. But you just said that you got several confirmation that Ugona was your real husband. How come your brother was not in support? Aja then had to explain in details all that transpired between Eugene, Isu Ugona the pastor, and her at that time. It was then that Makai fully understood what happened to him. This one is strong. You lost your only family because of a man that has not even proven himself to you just because of the words of your pastor. You know, sometimes we humans can be sentimental and make mistakes. Did you even stop to think then that maybe Ugona was the choice because he attended your church? Because from this your story it was ISO that you actually knew very well. You have been friends with him for a longer time, and your brother even approved of him, which was supposed to be a plus. But rather you went with your pastor's words, and probably a Bible verse that was wrongly interpreted, treated by you both to fit in your purpose. No, this is not good. From every indication Ugona might be more than what you see. You are still fresh in marriage, and you have started seeing this. What will happen when you have children, when you stay for years? What if he refuses you from ever walking just so he could suppress you more? Because I see no reason why he should relocate you people from where you had a good life and a supportive community who could help you to this secluded area where you don't even know anyone. Okay, that is enough. Let's not cook up more problems with our imagination. Just go to the government hospital. I will give you some money for transport. Go and make sure that your baby is fine. Aia thanked Mai and then left for the hospital. But as she walked down to the bus stop, she couldn't help but think about everything had discussed. What if UGA is really not the man she thought he was? What if she had made a grave mistake? What if she quickly shook off the thought from her head and focused on her trip to the hospital? Thankfully, everything was fine with her, and she was just giving routine drugs to aid her. She returned home and managed with what she could afford. There was rice at home, so she used us the 250 naira to get little veggies and crayfish. Deep down, Yaya was craving bananas and chilled yogurt. But at this point, she needed no one to tell her to push the crevice behind. Crayfish was now her favorite and easy source of protein. Later that night, UGA returned home from wherever he went to, and immediately he sat down. He brought out a big plate of catfish pepper soup and started to devolve. The aroma of the pepper soup was so tempting that Yaya almost begged Ugona for some. It was the expression on his face that held her back. She just silently went back to bed and forced herself to sleep. Unfortunately for Agozie, this was just the beginning of her marital reality. Every day Ugona would show her one shady or the other, not feeling any remorse at all. She struggled to put up with it all through the pregnancy. But towards the end of the pregnancy, she still had not gotten anything for the baby or for her maternity care. She was at a loss for what to do. And so she decided to do anything. No matter how desperate. That morning, as Ugona prepared to go out again, after dropping 200 naira for her, she fell to her knees and begged, "Honey, please, my due date is getting closer. I don't have anything in preparation for it, please. I need to buy some things, give me some money, but Ugona ignored her and wanted to leave when she suddenly shouted, if you don't give me money, I will have to go to the church and beg from the members, from the pastor, anybody. I can't keep on dying in silence. Ga seemed to pause in his tracks for a second before stepping out. Ago fell to the floor and cried bitterly. She had been enduring it all in silence, praying that it comes to an end one day. But it seemed that the more she covered it up, the worse it became. At this point, she didn't care about anything again. She would look for a way to borrow money to transport herself to the church on Sunday and seek help. There surely someone will take pity on her. But Agozie didn't need to go that far, because that same afternoon Ugona returned with a very big bag. Agozie was surprised to see him back home early, but she was even more surprised to see that he came with a lot of baby essentials. Before she could say anything, he explained to her, "See, Ago, I know I have not been in my best of behavior of late, but that's because I have been passing through some things. Don't take my actions to heart. I just need to take care of some stuffs, and very soon all will be well again." Agozie was dumbfounded. She just nodded her head as she went through the many baby things he came home with. In addition to that, he also gave her some money to use to get whatever she needed, and Aya's heart melted. She thanked him and prayed in her heart that this good thing that had started in her marriage will continue forever. Weeks later, Agozie went into labor. Ugona had gone out very early that day, and so she was alone at that time. She had to call Mama Kai, who came with her husband, and took her to the government hospital. Mamachi called Ugona to inform him that his wife was about to give birth, and he told her that he would soon be there. Hours later, Agozie gave birth to a healthy baby boy, but Ugona was still yet to arrive. It was Mamachi who went home and prepared a proper meal for Ago, who was very hungry. It was later that night that Ugona arrived at the hospital to see his wife and son, and he gave the excuse of being caught up in walk and traffic. He thanked Mamachi for assisting his wife, and then went to the reception to sort the bills. As Ugona left, Macha could not help but look at him disgustedly. What did Ai even see? This man, he's not even fine in the face neither. Is he fine at heart? What exactly did she see that convinced her to get married to this kind of man? Now, wow, days later, Agozie was discharged, and Ugona got a cab to take them home. With the way Ugona behaved at the hospital, Agozie felt that he has truly changed and looked forward to a happy home with their newborn son. But much to her disappointment, the moment they arrived home and we alone, Ugona returned to the same old person he was. He showed no care for his wife or the new baby. He refused to assist Ago, and neither did he give her money to feed well as a breastfeeding mother. It was the money he had given her before she gave birth that she fell back to at this time. And then one day, when the baby was just 2 months old, he felt terribly sick, up to the point that he was admitted at the hospital. Agier rushed him to the government hospital, where he was attended to. After the treatment, they were held back because Agozie could not afford the hospital bills. She called Ugona, but he ignored her calls and was nowhere to be found. Out of shame, Aga had to call the pastor's wife and pleaded for help with the bill. The pastor's wife gave her the money, but then she was worried about Ago's sister. Ag, what really is the matter since you and brother Ugona got married and moved far away? We hardly see you here in church. Look for a way to see me. I want to see you and your husband. I will inform pastor about it. We need to see you too. Agozie swallowed hard and agreed, but she knew that this was going to be trouble for her. This was why she had avoided calling anyone from the church for help, so that it doesn't look as though she intentionally reported Ugona. But now that the pastor's wife knows, how would she explain to Ugona? Will he even agree to go with her? Do you think Ugona will take it easy on Agozie for seeking help from the pastor's wife? Will he agree to go with her? What will Aya's fate be? We'll find out in part 2. Thank you for watching this story. Kindly share your thoughts about the story in the comment section, and share with us what lesson you've picked so far. Share the story out with your loved ones also, and give the story a thumbs up. Until I bring the next part your way. Bye.